12 years, 13 years, long time. So the Salt Lake City chapter definitely owes a lot of kudos to Robert. So Robert, thanks for keeping this thing going. We appreciate that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Thank you. So welcome. So the spirit of this is an opportunity for us all to come together, learn about a couple of people that are going to present their businesses to us. But the spirit of this is for us to share and learn, and it's an opportunity for you to network, make acquaintances, learn about what people are doing, and I'm going to say it again, network and share. So before you leave, make sure that you meet somebody that you've never met before, share some information, and ask them about their business or ask them about something personal. Ask them about something interesting. The question I like to ask is, what brings you joy? Because that's usually a pretty good way to start a conversation with someone. So before we get started, there's also one thing a question I wanted to ask, because this pertains to entrepreneurship, and I think it's relevant right now. Who uses AI in their business? Wow. Who doesn't use AI in their business? Okay. One hand. So your assignment, there's a whole room of people that have tools that they've used to make their business work better in some way. Your assignment is, it seems like everybody in the room had their hand up. Your assignment is that maybe that's the question that you get to ask the people, because this is all coming. Everybody's got their hand up. You know it. You're leveraging it. And those that put your hand up, you probably have the assignment also, because somebody else has figured something out, some hack to make something go faster. And when you're a small business, you need all the hacks that you can get. So you bump into someone, ask them what they're using, because they might have a tool that solves some specific problem that makes things go much more smoothly for them. So let's go here through our slides. One of the things that we want to remind everyone, when the groups are presenting, we have a Q&A afterwards, spend about 10 minutes. Make sure that you ask challenging questions. And Robert talks about limiting the softballs. I like to say, send challenging questions with love. And that's how I think about things. Like, I want people to improve. I want people to better themselves. But it doesn't mean I'm going to give you an easy question. But the intent is always, how do we make everybody better? So as you're challenging people, keep in mind that we're not trying to rip people down. We're trying to help elevate them and challenge them. And that's the spirit in which we're trying to do things a little bit better. So, limit your softball questions. At the end, I'll remind everyone, but let's stack the chairs when we're done after the second presenter. We can still hang out for a while, but the more everyone helps clean up, it goes a little bit faster. And one question at a time when we get to the Q&A. I'll cut you off if not, but just limit. We have another microphone, so we'll run 2 microphones during the Q&A. All right. This month's coffee is sponsored by Bo and V School. There he is. So you wanted to say something? We'd like you to say something. And by the way, thank you for the coffee and tea and sponsorship.
Thanks for the opportunity.
What's up, guys?
I'm Mo. This is Brooke.
Hi. I run the social media, so I'm the social media manager for V School.
We started.
Oh, I'm Brooke. Yeah.
So thank you for the opportunity. Great coffee. Rob made the coffee, which is pretty impressive. This is good coffee. Rob and I have been friends for a long time. We were even co-working friends. I was on his board of advisors for sustainable startups back in the day. So V-School's been around for about 10 years now. We teach coding, cybersecurity, and UI UX design. We have some flyers. We have an upcoming information session, April 18.
Yeah, so that's going to be online. It's virtual. We just barely opened up our in-person, so now we have in-person web development courses, which is really awesome. We have a great community. It's based out of the shop, and so there's just a ton of different companies that you can network with, and yeah, it's really awesome. It's a great networking opportunity, and so we love having our students there. Come in, hang out, come say hi. I'll get some content.
Our campus is 50% female. It's a in terms of male female. The split there is unique, and that shouldn't be, but it is unique in tech, and we're trying to break these barriers down. Prior to COVID, we were in Lebanon, we were in Kuwait, we were in Ghana doing the same work. Now back to Salt Lake City, like Brooke said, back in person. So we have a great online presence, but it's really fun to see people again. One MC, you guys do the, God's work, bringing people together and shaking hands, drinking warm beverages together. That's very much what V-School is too. It's a very personal experience, and we guarantee that you get a job, right? You don't actually graduate V-School until you leave with a job. Average starting salary is about $80,000 coming out of our programs, and then everyone knows that coders and designers, like cyber folks, sky's the limit. So it's a great career. Over 50% of our student body are also veterans or active service members or military family spouses. So that's a huge part of our culture as well. And flyers in the back. Come chat with us, hang out with us.
Get a tour from your one and only Mo. He'll make you a warm beverage. That's a promise.
Yeah, I will too. Maybe, I don't make good coffee. Maybe Rob can help me with that. But yeah. Lots of parties, lots of activations, lots of tech events. Yeah, we've got a great rooftop. So maybe next week, we have the flyer in the back for the April 18th. Next week, we'll bring like a calendar of events that are coming up for the summer. Hang out with us.
Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks for coffee. Yeah, thanks. So one thing before we get started with the first presenter, did anybody see the Wall Street Journal article about Salt Lake City yesterday? Front page of the digital version. Salt Lake City is the hottest job market in the country right now, and it's always been up in the past 5 years. It's been up there, but now the article was about Salt Lake City again, and every 6-8 months something else comes out about Salt Lake City. So, this is the place to build business, and this is the place to find talent, and the V-School, that's a great place to send people to get prepped for what's coming. Yeah, I took a picture of that article and sent it to my son and said, you're in the right place. He's up at the U studying business. So it just reinforces that we're building in a great place. So it's nice to see those things. All right, our first presenter is Yager Training. Deb is going to come and talk to us about what they're doing at Yager Training. So, or whoever is coming to present. It's a 2-team. Awesome. Wow, look at this. So we're going to present.
What is it?
We're all here.
Testing.
It's a joke.
Hello? Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
How about you stand over here?
I will indeed. All right, so for those that don't know, my name is Brandon Yager.
And I'm Deb Yager. And we're so excited to be here because we believe that entrepreneurship is where the world is going to change. I don't know if you're aware, but how can you not be aware that there is so much conflict in the world? Our planet is not doing well. I don't even know what's going on in politics. It's just pretty crazy right now. And we believe that innovation is going to change the world. And that's with every single one of you. We have witnessed over and over again people present on life-changing stuff that's about conscious leadership and conscious change that we can have in the world. And that's where it's going to change, is through entrepreneurship.
That's what I love about this group. We moved here about a year ago. We're up in Park City, and just the ideas and the business conversations that I've had in this group are incredible. Small business is truly what's going to change where we are right now. It's not big corporations, it's small businesses. We can spend more time and attention and communicate to our customers in a completely different way than a company that has 20,000 employees. And so our whole conversation today is about communication. It's about leadership, it's about mindset. And as you know, that so many businesses can struggle and startups can struggle because of communication.
Yes. And you got into this because?
So I got into this work because at 12 years old, I witnessed my father getting fired from the corporate world. And so I said, if that's what the corporate world does, I want nothing to do with the corporate world. So I went into real estate at 18 years old. My brother, he's an entrepreneur, my brother AJ. we both have this drive, and I think this was, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like that was a big moment for both of us, is literally we didn't look back. My brother built his first computer at 14, 15 years old. And, for me with real estate, I just jumped in it and went, and I hit an early level of success, and then I hit that glass ceiling. Anyone ever experienced the glass ceiling where you work longer, harder, better, faster, longer, harder, better, faster, and the money's still not there? So I hit that experience, and then I found NLP, and I found the trainings that we now do. I actually met this beautiful soul in a training about 11 years ago, and then now we're doing this work. We've been doing this work for 11 years.
And I was coming for a completely different reason. My life was in chaos. I don't know if anybody's had a rock bottom moment, but in all areas of life, that was me. I was in a career that was completely wrong for me in every single level. I felt like every single day that I went to work, I felt like I was trapped. I was also in and out of abusive relationships, and I didn't understand why. I would literally move from state to state, to town, and find a different relationship, and I got into the same relationship, just different face, different name. I didn't understand why. I was trapped. For over 16 years, I believed I was an addict, and I walked the park. Whether it be food, drugs, alcohol, whatever I could numb the pain inside, I didn't know to change. And what this work did for me is allowed me to take my power back. It allowed me to see the possibility that I don't have to be that person anymore, and I can recreate my life. And the good thing about it is it not only helps you reprogram your belief system, but the work that we do, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, allows you to be able to communicate effectively, to inspire, lead, and elevate people around you, which in entrepreneurship is essential. Because if you're not able to inspire people into their vision or your vision, your business will not take off. And that's what we help people do. We help them breathe life for this work.
Absolutely. And so part of the way I broke through my glass ceiling was...
Too close. Mine was too
Too
far away.
close. No, that close is good.
Is it making it click? Okay, so I need to be right here. Okay.
That is the distance. It's the proper distance. So part of the way I broke through, my glass ceiling in my own business was understanding the user manual for the mind. Did anyone ever get a user manual for your mind?
At school?
In school? Did school ever teach you this stuff? So part of what we teach is deprogramming language. There's a lot of unconscious language going on in our society. And so we call it conscious language. And we're going to teach you, is it all right if we teach you guys a little something today? We're going to get through why people fail in business. We don't want to talk about that. So the unconscious process here, the 95%, this is what runs us. This is what's unconscious. So when my dad got fired at 12, that event is inside of me now. And now I make decisions based on that event moving forward in my life, right? It gave me this drive. It gave me this passion and the habits because I wanted to make sure I was successful in my own business. I also recognized my father's a brilliant man. He had ideas that he never launched, right? I recognized that he didn't have the tools to communicate, to negotiate, to sell his services. This is one of the biggest things we see entrepreneurs struggle with is sales.
Does anybody here like sales?
Who loves sales? Yes.
And we have a room full of entrepreneurs. I'm assuming that not everybody's hand was raised. We call it in our industry the dirty word because most people in business for themselves, they rather outsource sales.
Speaking the mic,
from our
please.
perspective, the lifeblood of your business is sales. So if you are rejecting it as the leader or the visionary or the business owner, you are going to trickle down that belief staff. They are going to reject it at some unconscious level. And so this stuff needs to be cleared out at the unconscious level for you to perform at your best and to lead in a conscious way.
So I can boil sales down to one word. What do you guys think the word is? Shout it out. Whatever comes to mind. It's unconscious.
Yes.
Beautiful, yes. And? Mindset? Yes. Anyone else? It's change.
Service.
It's transformation. We change. Think about it. When we're selling a client into success, into their greatness, they have to make that change for themselves. It's inspiration. We're not selling them something. They're basically, we're inspiring them to do what they know they need to do in order to solve the problem on their own. And that's change. That's personal growth and development. So one of the ways that I created success in my real estate business that catapulted me into training and coaching all professionals, entrepreneurs, and coaches is getting a hold of this chatter that's going on in the mind. Some of us have really negative self-talk, and it is kicking our butt and makes business twice as hard. Part of this is belief systems, our habits, our routine thoughts, feelings, our attitudes, trauma, values, beliefs. It all lives here.
I had trauma that kept attracting the same situation over and over again until I released the trauma. Until I released the trauma, I wasn't able to take my power back and to find the love of my dreams.
She's used to the mic.
I'm used to the mic on my ear. Yes. And so we had an entrepreneur that came through that had a lot of money trauma, right? He was undercharging. He also had sales trauma. And so every time he would go into a sales conversation, he was blocking the ability to make money in sales. Plus, the worst part about it is that he was blocking his clients' transformation because he was undercharging. And so after he let go of the trauma around money, he was able to be charging from $1,500 to $60K to $100,000 to $250,000 for high performance coaching, simply by changing letting go of.
We also worked with a gal years ago that was trying to lose weight. We actually met her in yoga. And she'd been eating right. She was in yoga, and she's like, I just can't lose the weight. Well, she was actually full and charged with rage and anger. So we did a few processes with her, and her lineage went through the Armenian genocide. She was Armenian. And when we released her rage, she dropped 40 pounds in less than 30 days. So what we don't realize at the unconscious level with our beliefs, our habits, our emotional thoughts, how we feel, like health is such a big piece of the unconscious mind. And it's the part of us that runs us. It's the part of us that when we get more conscious of, we can actually create effortless success. It's automatic, right? Many of us, you've heard this term where we got to get out of our own way. That's the unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah, and instead of fighting it, we've got to utilize it and work with it. And it's very easy to do. Should we choose to? Should we make that choice?
And so the goal here is that when you are being the leader in your business, that you have the 5%, which is the visionary part of you, the creative thinking, and the 95% completely aligned, working together and flow. And another thing to consider as well is those of you that are pitching your business to raise capital, you're also speaking, of course, to the 5%. The data and the facts and showing the statistics and how much profitability there is. Yes, but you also want to be telling stories and evoking an emotion through the storytelling of your why and your mission. So you're getting the 95%, because those two, why people will invest in you, why people will be motivated, why people will say yes to your project or say yes to themselves. Is this making sense? And so all this combined with the skill set, the habits, the reactions, your behavior will create success. We say that the unconscious mind is the goal getter, the conscious mind is the goal setter. And so you want to have both minds working together.
It's your belief systems, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's truly belief systems. Right now, one of the biggest issues in this country is health, right? Not only mental health, but physical health. There's a lot of people that don't believe they can heal themselves. They don't believe they can tap into that inner brilliance, that inner intelligence that is the healing capability, right? So part of this decoding for me when I was in real estate at 18 years old, I had pretty much zero fear, but I couldn't communicate. After my first training, it kind of just unlocked and everything just aligned, right? I've made thousands and thousands of cold calls. I had an auto dialer. I've been hung up on more than most people have made calls. And when you face rejection and you move through it, it becomes effortless, it becomes easy. It's even easier to stand up on stage and do trainings in front of hundreds of people, right? And something that I think every entrepreneur and every business owner, coach ought to be successful and confident standing up here on stage and to be able to teach one to many and also being able to communicate exquisitely, right? So after my first training, within 90 days, I put $100,000 of commissions in escrow. I hadn't done that in a year previous to that. And so there's a lot of brilliance and access that is already inside of us. We just haven't tapped into that potential.
Yes.
That's what we help business owners, coaches, and entrepreneurs do, is tap into that potential that's already there. And it may just need a little clear out, maybe a little clearing of past negative emotions, past traumas, memories, things that keep us stuck.
and then adopting new habits and behaviors for success. And so our ask is help us get the word out. We just moved here, and we have an event coming up at the end of this month, and we would love for you to share this resonates, know some benefit from our service. We would love to give a gift ticket for $1 for 3 days with us to help clear out the blocks around sales, money, business, get strategies around business, as well as storytelling. That's what the event is about. It's called the Profit Accelerator. And we invite all of you to $1 or even bring a friend as well.
If you'd like to enhance sales cycles, like maybe shorten your sales cycles, if you'd like to have a sales process, does anyone feel like in their business, one thing I feel like is really powerful too is to lead with revenue. Because when you lead with revenue, then you can go with a proven process and be able to find investors and get the capital you need. And I see a lot of different entrepreneurs that aren't leading with revenue, and they're waiting. They're waiting to wait, get ready. You know, I'm going to clean my floor right now. And so it's how we can really start to propel through sales and drive revenue. Yeah. We've seen this in all different industries. And so if this resonates with you and you want to increase your sales cycles, if you want to shorten sales cycles and actually have a process so you don't feel like the conversation goes all over the place. Who's ever sat down on a sales conversation and like it was supposed to be a 30-minute appointment and it went like an hour and a half and you're all over the place? I know I'm not the only one. Yeah. So that comes down to, it stems back to our values and beliefs, right? Our habits, our attitudes. And that when we have lean months and inconsistent sales, it stems back to the unconscious piece of us. It stems back to our unconscious processes because that's on autopilot. That's our autonomic nervous system. It's just going to go, right? Until we show it a different way and basically lock in a new strategy.
Yes. And so if you have any questions, we would love to answer any questions about the work we do, and or our ask is how do we get the word? Well, I'm looking for strategic partnerships as well as getting the move out.
Deb, Brandon, awesome. Thank you very much for presenting. I've got some questions. Oz has some questions. All right, we're going to start with Oz. Drop something wise on us, Oz.
So I'm not going to ask you anything. There's a gentleman here named Mo. I have a challenge for Mo. I will sponsor 10 veterans. Are you going to equal me on that sponsorship? Get 10 veterans into this program? Okay. So we'll talk later. So we have 20 tickets for veterans.
Beautiful. Love that. Thank you. Thank you, Oz. Thank you, Mo.
All right. Thank you, Oz. Who has questions? Robert?
So $1 a ticket. So tell me how you guys make money. Tell me, I mean, it's a great offer. I think, I mean, I might even take advantage. Like everybody here, that seems pretty powerful. But tell me a little bit about how you make money, how you can make it work at $1. How does it work after $1?
So for 3 days, we pour in so much value that at the end we present an offer, and some people have taken the next step with us. Some people don't, and our give back is to give them the skill set to go out and make money in their business either way. And 50% of people want to come along the journey with us. We have higher level trainings, retreats, and all different types of stuff. Yeah.
The live event space since 2020 is coming back with a vengeance because there's so much stuff online now. I don't know if the photo is real or the video is really that person. And so what we do in our retreats and our live events is we create a really safe container where people break through their stuff, because that's, as you know, we bring our personal stuff into our business and there's no way to really compartmentalize that. And we've seen this patterns and patterns, not only in ourself and our own personal growth, but in our teams and all of our clients that have come through. We've trained over 1,200 people. And so that next level training, it's an incredible training. It's an offer to break through and truly become a new person. It's not the kind of thing where it's like we get pumped up and motivated and we go back into the old self, we create a new self, right? And so you'll get to see breakthroughs, and we show demonstrations on how these tools actually work and how you can bring them into, you know, your place of business. And I think every CEO and leader ought to be able to coach their team, but first you got to coach yourself. We're all coaches. right? And we take that coaching home.
Excellent. Other questions? So it's sort of a freemium model, or maybe not freemium, but it's a $1 freemium model, right? When you upgrade at the end, obviously, that's where you guys have an opportunity to add some more value. Are there any other questions? All right. Brooke? Brooke.
Social media. Okay, what is your Instagram?
It's Deb Yager. It's Deborah Yager. So so we built our business from network marketing, and we're yes, Yager Trading, and we just hired somebody on to do more social stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Questions? No question. So, when you look at the people that you've helped or the businesses that you help, what are some of the profiles that are the one? If somebody or a business matches a certain profile, you're like, I know we can make a big difference with this criteria. Is there sort of a sweet spot where you're like, oh yeah, I know we're going to transform this?
So a lot of service industries, and naturally anyone that's hiring and running a team. So we've worked with some really successful entrepreneurs, brokerages, real estate brokerages, insurance brokerages. I've worked with a law firm. It's amazing how high performers can still have baggage to let go of, and how they can take it to 4 or 5 notches above that. That's what's incredible about this work. So definitely coaches, health coaches, doctors, nurses, health practitioners we've helped, because these tools are mental and emotional tools. And when we bring them more into medicine, there's far more healing that's going to happen internally, which to me is self-empowerment. That's ultimate empowerment, is when a patient can heal themselves.
And I would also say that any entrepreneur that feels like they're getting in their own way and they've hit a glass ceiling, we can help you break through.
Does anybody feel like they're getting in their own way? Sometimes. I do. I mean, yeah.
Another thing. Oh,
Yeah, no. Please.
Another thing that we work well with is entrepreneurs that are doing really well and they know they're on their way to burnout. Because burnout is because they are not letting, from our perspective, there's something there going on underneath the hood that's draining their life force energy. So when they optimize, they unplug, and they let go of the emotional baggage and get healthy, the business will skyrocket.
Excellent. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time coming to present with us. So we have these magic cups. You guys are gonna have to share, but I mean,
We share everything.
I mean, you're part of the same company, so it's okay. And they're sort of magical. Who in this group has one of these cups or something similar? Right? So you guys are now part of a club, right? A very exclusive club. But now you're part of a club of people that have presented their businesses and gotten feedback. And obviously, we welcome you back anytime to let us know how it's going. And actually learning about, sometime in the future, how some of these sessions go, I think would be great to come back and tell everyone about what you've learned and how you've evolved your business. I think part of what gets me curious also is, how have you applied that to yourself, right? I'm sure you have, right? You guys are on your own journey, so sometime in the future, learning about that. So to finish off, the question we like to ask is, let's reiterate, how can we help you? How can this community help you guys? You sort of put a request out there for people to join or share the word. Is it that, or is there anything else that we can help you with?
I mean, exactly. What Oz and Mo just talked about is people that, and it doesn't have to be someone struggling in their business, but the reality is, there's relationship struggles, just refer them to us, and talk to them about how there is other alternatives to personal growth and development that go very deep and can get results.
My last ask is, I would love to connect with all of you and do coffee dates, because I love building community, and we're new, and we would love to have friends and supportive entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah. Put your session on LinkedIn so that the LinkedIn community can reshare. So we need to get connected on LinkedIn so I can then reshare that. Anybody else? You're going to get a lot of word out locally through LinkedIn as well. Yep. Okay. So before the next presenter, Nathan wanted to tell us about I think an event that's going on, right?
Hello, everybody. Some people know me, some people don't. But my name is Nathan Bird. My wife and I, we host the world's finest entrepreneurs breakfast. And it's going to be on April 20th. The main premise behind this, in essence, entrepreneurs, right-minded individuals who have a growth mindset all around a table. Also taste our family's real. So it's really not a joke. Who in here has been? Robert, right here, back. So we obviously have some people that have enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, as for authentic, we curate rooms that need us as humans. So anyway, April 26th, we've got a performance in Nashville. At 9 morning off. We also have guest speaker client dates. So once again, my name is Nathan Bird. You guys can look at breakfast at simplybreakfastpalooza.com.
Awesome, thanks, Nathan. Breakfast Palooza. So I kind of skipped the announcements earlier. So are there any other announcements or shares that anybody wants to announce or share with the group? Kind of glossed over that earlier. All right, we got one in the back.
Kind of a win and a fail, but
Great.
I was a semi-finalist in a pitch competition for the One Utah conference. Did not make it to the finals. Progress.
I don't know how that's a fail. Semifinalist is pretty good. That's progress. That's a journey. All right. Any other announcements? All right. We have our next presenter is Jay from Robo. There he is. Jay, let's tee you up over here. Let's tee you up. Okay. We're technical difficulties. All right. I think you're ready to go, Jay. So there's the magic button. Yeah, there you go. Let it rip.
All right, my name is Jay. I've been here one time, so presenting is kind of a new thing to me. So patience with me. So this is the project we've been working on. We've been working on it for a year and a half. So we intend to be a notes app. Just super boring because everybody has a notes app and it's working, right? Raise your hand if you use notes in some form. Evernote, Apple Notes, yeah. So nobody. Great. Okay. Yeah. No, just kidding. All right. So better place to store your stuff, and we're gonna dive into why. So obviously, plenty of notes out there. I think that for me specifically, I'm involved in a lot of different things. I build a lot of different things on my notes apps, and I just hate that there's not like a nice way to share. I'm involved, like I do music, and then I have like this presentation that I want to build, and then writing is just like I'm involved in a lot of stuff, and it all starts in my notes app, and I just want to be able to share it with people through the notes app. So that's kind of like where it comes from. I also see that there is quite a bit of room to with AI specifically for organization. I think that that's a big failure of notes apps currently is organization, the folder structure and hierarchy bothers me a lot. And all of this kind of leads me to have irreconcilable issues with every notes app out there where I come in on my own. So last thing I want to note is that are these our competitors? I don't think so. We're kind of just going our own way, building our own thing. So this is the heart of it. It's a notes app that you can just put some stuff on a page, start building out your idea. You just build it, continue building it, share it with whoever you're building it with, and then at the end you can make it public. Kind of present it as like a mini microsite or mini website. You can just build as many as you want. So here's a quick example. This little yellow man up here has an idea to install a kitchen tile backsplash. So he kind of just builds it out, do it with friends or whatever he wants to do. And then that's the kind of the end note if he was to build one. So build them from start to finish, all just in one platform. So this is kind of some of the examples of what you would be able to do, just kind of structured in a folder platform. This is a side project that I'm working on. And then you'd be able to just kind of like be on the same page with plans, place all your artwork. That's another thing that I do. I just want a place to put it. I am tired of switching between Instagram accounts. I just want separate notes to just be like, okay, this one's for my art. I can make that public. This one's for my music. I can make that public. That sort of thing. So some quick examples. Just kind of we're kind of building a kind of a component builder that you can just kind of like stick little pieces on a component and then place that on your page, and that's kind of the heart of the Notes app, and that's kind of what it's looking like. You could build a recipe. Not that you don't have to do that if you want, but I think that there's some room for recipes to kind of become more organic and quickly accessible to everyone. It bothers me that I have to go to Pinterest every time and then jump to recipe and then save it, but then I have to go through that whole process. I just want to save the card for the next time I make it. Instruction manual or an instruction or a course. I've used this personally. I've done some contracting work out of state and had some coworkers that they would basically take my place after I left. And there was just like this big information transfer that I had to give to them. And so I just like typed it out all in the note, and then I sent it to them over a message. Here's the locations of the truck. Here's the location of the Airbnb or hotel that we're staying at, and then any other locations that are necessary to them. Here's information. Here's the code to get into the storage or the shop or whatever, all that stuff. And then 3 days later, hey, what's the code again? I'm like, dude, I sent you the thing. Just look at the text that I sent you. He's like, oh, okay. So he scrolls back up to the text, whereas could be I just place it on a page, send it to him, and he has this easy access reference sheet sort of a thing. So which goes to show that you can also do like an itinerary, and then when you make an itinerary public, then someone else can save it, modify it, use it for their own sort of thing. And then I do want to eventually build to the point where you can just like have an idea for a brand, you can do whatever, build it out in your note, and it's a mini website. So if you take just sort of like the way that things work right now, if you're going to build a website right now, you basically make a desktop website and then you make it mobile friendly. We're going to switch that around. You can make 10 mobile sites, and then if you want to, you can make it desktop friendly. So after you do that, then go share it. Go, cross-pollinate is what I say. Message it. I want to have it so that it's directly in the message, just like that instruction manual like that I sent to my friend. I just want to have it easy, nice information. Post it. Obviously, like there's a ton of people that, ton of platforms that are posting. I'm not really trying to go into the social media space, although you can do that on this platform if you want to. Another thing for this specifically, we're building a component in there where you can just share it to the location. So basically, I could have like a little demo or pocket companion sort of thing for this presentation that I've built out for you. And then I would just broadcast it, and you'd be able to kind of access it right there in the room. And then the last thing, publish. Just back to that, you don't have to post it. You can just place it on your page, and then people can see it. People who are following it, they can follow the updates that you're kind of doing on whatever page that you're working with. So next step, artificial intelligence. Trend that I see is that, well, for me specifically, I'm involved in way too many things. But I think that with AI, that's going to be everyone's content. Like you're going to be able to do music, you're going to be able to do songs, you're going to be able to write a book if you want. And where are you going to put that? A lot of companies are focused very much on content creation. You see it all over the news. It's like, okay, make a photo, make a video. But I'm trying to sneak in there in this place to store and organize it instead of create it, we're just going to be like, okay, well, here, implement the AI to be the place that you can organize it, easily access all your notes and ideas, access them quickly, and then share them however you want. So, our business and profitability plan. We feel like we have some cool and original ideas as far as that goes. I'm sorry if I've probably been standing in your way the entire time. Standard scroll tech platform ads, like that's kind of like what everybody is. I feel like it's been overdone. It's open to us, but this is kind of more what we want to focus on. Content storage, we want to do a revenue model where you can just pay for what you use. And so instead of saying, hey, like we want to charge you $15 a month for our service, you're only using $2 of data, then you pay $2. So there's that. We're planning on doing the transaction fees, but I think we can lower them with sort of like the way that we're doing this. It opens us up to a lot more profitability options or different ideas, and so we can kind of cut costs in like the transaction fees, so you don't get killed like a small business owner would on Etsy. So this is a great collaboration tool. That's a huge thing for notes with companies. It's just they staying on the same page with ideas and where they're going, goals, all of that. And so I think we can really read into that and make functions where like you can be on the same page as a school, a classroom, submit all your work through that, just right through a note. And then you can kind of save the study guides that the teacher has for you, or other students if they have notes or whatever, save those, modify them however you want. And then we also want to make this like a revenue sharing. Just make money on the platform. You bring other people to like. I just want it to be like a nice ecosystem where you can just share your ideas. So. All right. So our current situation, I am still a contractor. I do some like construction stuff, and we do EV. We just picked up a contract for EV, electric vehicle charging stations. We're kind of building those out. Lots of opportunity if I wanted to say that with that, but I don't. So I have the fun time of working that full time while paying a developer full time to run this. And then I, on my off time, I have to work full time, and then music, just too much stuff. So that's kind of my ask is advice on that, making that transition to working to do this full time. Contacts are always helpful. If anyone knows anyone that this might speak to, I would love to hear all of your feedback. I wish there was like time for that. You just go each individual one, hear your thoughts on everything. And then also, I just want to like make a difference with this. And so like if I don't know the funding world, I don't know. I'm just an entrepreneur, kind of doing his own thing. So if anybody has any advice or like tips or whatever in that route, because I want to make it so that like profit and value that we're providing and humanity is just kind of like an equal sort of thing. And I don't know if that's possible. It doesn't seem like it's possible in like the corporate world right now, but I would love to like implement that. I know that like some companies have done things like that, and so anything in that direction is very welcome to me. And then so funding is kind of like the next step. I feel like this is a big project. Obviously can't fund it on my own, so anything like that is very, very useful to me. So this is our team. This is me. I have an astronaut and a robot. They haven't sent me their photos yet. So Bevan, he's a co-founder, CTO. He's a technical specialist, and he's just working full time. I'm just keeping him going. That's all I care about. And then I do the UI stuff. So any design stuff is all done by me. And then Derek, part-time guy, and AI specialist. He builds his own AI tools. He's a senior dev and technical consultant for our company. So that's us so far. And then lastly, I just have these little visual slides where you just can see like your notes app, and then you could just kind of see some different things of what you could do. You could do an article. It's very blurry. I'm sorry. Artwork, all that kind of stuff. Music down there, and then also sort of business ideas. You can't see it, but it says business, and then you'd have your brand and like my project here, and then you could also run some other things and save products. And like we want to do like an affiliate marketing thing where you can save a product in, and then if your following buys the product, then you get paid, they get paid, all that sort of thing. So that's Robo.
All right, Jay, thank you. I bet there's lots of questions. So I saw, all right, first.
Hey Jay, I'm Jay, but I go by Mike. So my first question is, you didn't have on your competitor list or your comparison list Notion or Coda or some of these other apps that I feel like more closely represents the space you're targeted to, and I'm just wondering why you didn't include those as potential competitors.
I can go look. I mean, it's kind of like we're competing with everyone and no one at the same time, and so I mean, I could have included like Pinterest and Dropbox, and like this kind of scratches the surface at what we're trying to do, and I know that there's like it's a kind of a natural next step to kind of organize content and stuff, but we have a lot of plans, and so like I said, I could have included like a ton of different competitors. But if you have like some specifically that are going after like the very market that we are, then I would love to hear about them and like note them so I can like come up with a response. If that makes sense.
So was actually going to say similar. So I'm an operations consultant. I build out like company Bibles basically. So I've used the Notion, the Coda, the ClickUp, Go High Level, FG. I've built all of these things similar to what you have here. So very specifically, those two as competitors, why? What do you believe is so different about what you're building from a Notion or a Coda specifically?
So I just gonna be honest with you, I'm not like too familiar with those platforms, and so if they are going with something, then I'll need to like answer that in a different next week or something, or whenever, you know. But I would love to have that conversation and find out exactly what they're specifically doing. And we have a pretty specific plan laid out as far as like the messaging platform goes, the social part of it, sharing all this sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of like Linktree, you know, there's all of this sort of stuff that all of this can kind of be consolidated into one platform, and it hasn't happened yet from what we can see, and so that's why we're going around. Does that answer your question? Yes, it is. Yeah, but we're the approach that like it's a lot, obviously, and many people have talked about doing like a giant platform that does a lot of stuff. So the approach that we're taking to it, I think, is more of an organic sort of ground up approach. Notes app is kind of like where your thoughts start, and so you can just kind of build them out from there. Again, specifically with music, I want a platform that I can share with my producer where I have lyrics in one page and the recording of demos, and then the files that he sends to me. I want to just be able to lay them out in one page, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah, great job. So I love note apps. I used to love Evernote. Don't love it anymore. I think there's a big opportunity. I'm curious if you have a plan for like, can you take Evernote users, dump their data, and import it easily into your Note app? Because I think that's a good growth hacking approach. There's a lot of people that are moving off that right now, and if you could get them to adapt to that, you might have a nice way of getting a lot of users quickly.
I fully agree with that. I think that a lot of companies out there kind of like protect that so that you can't like offload your data very easily. But all those options for sure are open, and I want to like talk to you specifically if there's like options in that way, because I would love to do something like that, because right now I'm on Apple Notes. Super annoying that I'm looking forward to that same thing where I have to offload everything onto this, you know, new platform once we get it to that point. So sweet, yes.
It's actually two questions. The first one's just for information. Who is target market businesses or is it individuals?
Individuals.
Individuals.
Yeah.
Okay. The second is actually related to your revenue model. A lot of your competitors I've seen have options. There. What and wanting to add or able to all of other they're cheap. Yeah, people don't want to have to pay for stuff if they don't have to. So that's something that you have to
reckon with. Yes.
How to deal with.
Yes, and I'm fully aware of that, and we plan to kind of be in that same space where it's like mostly free, and I should have said that, I guess, on there. I think it's a matter of like building trust and building a relationship with a company that you because if I knew that Apple Notes was like trying to be like the note platform, then I would just be like, okay, I'll use Apple Notes, right? And then I don't mind the $299 or whatever that comes up for cloud storage on Apple because I kind of know them, you know. So it's kind of like building that, but like we will have the free model that you can use like plenty of space for free, which is where the other revenue profitability options come in. They can kind of compensate for that. And then, yeah, does that kind of answer your question? We're trying to like maintain that balance and then build the relationship. But then instead of being like, go pro and pay $15 or $20 a month, you can just pay like $2.
So I have a question. So I need to run, but are you live? This live?
It is not live yet.
Okay.
Yes. Still beta, or I mean, we're working toward an MVP. Where we can.
A few questions. How long have you been working on this?
I personally have, well, I mean, I guess you could say that I've been working on it for like 10 years. I've always known I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I just would like have this idea, that idea, whatever, and I would like work through them, and all of them were just kind of like, that's not quite it. Okay. So about a year and a half ago, I was like, this is it. I can do kind of all of them.
What's your current your product feature roadmap? And how many different features do you have allocated for the amount of time that you will then release? So what is your MVP? That would be my biggest question.
Yeah. So the MVP is mostly just like basic elements that you can put into a component, which so that includes like text, image. We're going to work up to the point where you can kind of build out like the itinerary or guide or course or whatever. But we're focused on that where you can build the component, and so it's mostly just a matter of putting like elements onto a component, and then you can place that component in a page, and it's separate and works differently with the different functions.
And my last, I guess, position, and this is simply founder to founder, and somebody who's raised, I raised $400,000 for my last startup. It was not the exact space, but we were creating an educational learning application for content creators to be able to create their course, post their course, and distribute that to make money on their knowledge. And the area that I had got into was you're in essence creating an ecosystem. So that's where the delineation needs to be between, do I create a full-on ecosystem which will take time, effort, money, right? Or do I begin with, like you were saying, your MVP, and then pinning your audience? So right now it's going to be extremely important for you to get very clear on pinning the audience for that feedback. Make what they need, so then you can enter into the market, so then you can start to take your steps forward.
To expand. Yeah. That's awesome. And yes, let's talk about that. I want to get your contact information because that's awesome.
Follow up. I think it would be worthwhile for you to kind of relook at your competitive landscape. I mean, know exactly, especially for things like Notion and the others seem to be directly competition. Like, I'm an investor. The fact that you're not aware of these things question from me.
Sure.
Right. So other benefits, then it will help you then prioritize what your feet is,
Definitely.
and how you kind of position yourself in relation to these competitors. Kind of.
No, I love that, and I mean, like, it's kind of shocking to me that I haven't come across them either. I may have heard of them or whatever, but like I've been, like I said, been doing this for a year, building it out, and yeah, no, it's very detailed. We have like a pretty good wireframe kind of built out of exactly what it needs to do. But yeah, I'll take a look into it and
know your customer.
Oh, for sure, yes. Right. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Yes. Like I said, very specific about what we're doing, and so I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, except for angels and family and friends, usually funding's difficult until you start getting revenue, right? And when you identify what your niche is, that's when you start to get investors going. Oh, okay, interesting. Found a niche. They're leveraging on. When we're going to be everyone to everything to everyone. Most investors are going to be like, I don't know where you're going to specifically capitalize. So, for what that's worth. Jay, thank you for presenting. All right. Here's our magic cup. You're now part of the club. Put the hands up again. Who's got the cup? So Jay, you're part of the magic. You're part of the magic cup group. So as part of that, the request that we have of you is how can this community help you? So like make a very specific request that we can activate around.
I mean, I'm just looking for in this moment right now. This is what I'm dealing with, and like any of this is useful. I think it's really just like feedback on it. I want to hear your thoughts, and if you think it's a terrible idea, I also want to hear that. All the constructive criticism and not constructive criticism. I want all of it. I'll drink it up.
All right. Thanks again, Jay. All right, two quick things. One, I forgot to shout out to our hybrid group, miingl there. Thank you for doing this. How many people did we have on today? We had 5 people that were doing it hybrid, and so we're doing a lot of co-work with the miingl. The second thing is who in this group isn't the most comfortable in a crowd just going up and introducing themselves to people? I'm one of those guys. I don't just go glad hand everyone. All right, well here's one. So if you're those people, all the extroverts, make sure you find someone that might be a little bit shy and introduce